Here's something you need to know if you want to achieve great things in this life. Your circle determines your ceiling, and you can only dream as far as you've been exposed. Think about it. If you've not seen a certain type of success, certain types of careers, certain types of accomplishments, certain types of lives, then it's almost impossible for you to visualize yourself in those shoes. After all, you cannot aim at a target you do not know exists. That's why it's important that at whatever stage you are in your life, you make sure you always break out of your immediate radius. Get out of your comfort zone, get into new spaces, meet new people. You're responsible for engineering your own exposure. The most immediate way for you to do this is to physically get into a new location. So a lot of people leave their hometowns and then they move into bigger cities because it exposes them to new things. But I can also understand that this is difficult for people from certain backgrounds, from certain places where access to funding, to capital, and to opportunities is limited. That's why I always recommend to people to read books, engage in literature, in content and information that has the potential to transport you into other places. Because it's when you travel physically or mentally that you are collecting many variables that your brain will use when cooking your imagination. But as I'm thinking about this, I'm also realizing one important thing. It is so important that people who manage to break through in this life live in the fullness of their light. Sometimes in this life, we have a tendency to shrink ourselves because we don't want to make certain people uncomfortable. But think about this. What if your light is the exposure that someone needs in order to break through? What if your visibility is someone else's baseline? We need to learn to live in the fullness of our light. And I like to view this world as this ecosystem of responsibility where we work very hard to increase our exposure and to break through, but then we also have this responsibility to live in the fullness of our new lives so that other people can also have beacons they can look up to. I hope that helps. See you next time.